everybody who loves some Heroes of the Storm. Doing a replay cast this morning of NGS Season 19 in Division C between Witch Rhythm and Cats on my keyboard. As you can see, Witch Rhythm has banned Volskaya Foundry and Dragonshire. And on the right, you can see the Cats on my keyboard have banned Cursed Hollow and Braxis Holdout. Map number 1 will be played on the tomb of the Spider Queen. So, because this is a replay cast, there won't be a draft section or a draft phase from the teams. So we'll do a quick draft analysis when we hop in. We'll keep it short this time. Then we'll just hop right into the game. So let's get ready for game number 1. Right here in Div C between Witch Rhythm and Cats on my keyboard. So again, the blue side is going to be Witch Rhythm, and they have selected Anubrak, Anduin, Zool, Tychus, and Falstad. For me, Zool and Falstad are a little bit interesting on a map as small as this. Zool, an excellent double soaker, Falstad, a global presence. On a map as small as this, with as quick as the rotations can be, I wouldn't maybe pick these characters first, because you give up maybe you use a team fighting prowess or escapes to get things like globals and really great double clear. But the Zool gives you hard CC. Gust is always fantastic. Well, good gusts are always game changing. And then we got Tychus, Anduin, and Anub. So there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of lockdown, the ability to output a fair amount of damage fairly quickly, but also lots of sustained damage in Tychus and Zool. So overall, when it comes to collecting spider butts, clearing camps, clearing waves, getting wave prio, a fairly solid composition from Witch Rhythm here. Over on the right, we do have Cats on my keyboard, and they have selected Blaze, Junkrat, Diablo, Vala, Oriole. I would say this is more of a composition I would expect on this map. Diablo is really good. There's a lot of areas on this map with wall segments, very slammable. So Diablo can be very strong on this map. Blaze, still one of the best. And I would say he's particularly loved on this map as an offlaner because, again, the distance between lanes are so short that he can rotate quickly and drop just a 2-man stun or a 3-man stun out of nowhere. Junkrat also gives you very good clear, and Vala gives you a lot of teamfight presence. So I can't really say why. Off the hop, I kind of prefer the Cats on my keyboard draft. But like we always say, every matchup is a skill matchup. So we will... Actually, let me make a quick adjustment here to my mouse so that the cursor guides are not in the way of the replay. There we go. So that's our two teams. Let's have a look at game number 1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen between Witch Rhythm and Cats on my keyboard. So, in the blue, we do have Witch Rhythm. We've got Blitz on Anubrak, Neddens on Anduin, Real Rad Dad playing Zool, King Dunce on Tychus, and Matt, 407 playing the Dwarf on a Duck, Falstad. On the right, we have Cats on my keyboard. The Line Bus is playing Blaze, IT Cowboy on Junkrat, PJ Red playing Diablo, Ghost is on Vala, and Apple is playing Oriole. And hopefully an apple a day keeps the Gravekeeper at bay for Cats on my keyboard. So we look at level 1 talents here. We've got Legion of Beetles from Anubrak. Sorry. Please excuse the momentary difficulties here. I'm just going to turn up the game volume, but I can't hear it at all in my ears, and I can't imagine that it's really audible in the replay either. So let's go. We've got Beetle Build, Legion of Beetles for Anubrak. And if it gets too loud, please let me know. We've got Power Word Shield for Anduin, Shade. So that is the attack evasion for Zool. And the line bus is taking a lot of damage early here. He's locked down by the Zool, and that's one of the reasons you like to take Zool. That lockdown is so strong. Line bus gets low, but manages to escape. We've got quarterback, and we do have the auto attack frequent flyer. So this will be a scaling, and a pretty hard scaling Falstad at that. The four mans go together here, and Real Rad Dad pushing back Line Bus's Blaze in the bottom lane here, but Blaze can heal up, and that's one thing Blaze definitely has over Zool. He gets a bit more sustain until Zool can pick him up a little later on with some talents. On the other side, we do have the Adrenaline Stim Pack for Blaze, giving him good clear, and it's the most common talent for the offlane Blaze. We've got the Extra Timers for Junkrat. Feast on Fear for Diablo, so healing when he slams people into walls or flips them over when he stuns them. We do have Creed of the Hunter for Vala, the Gambit stacks on auto attacks, so this could be very dangerous. A couple deaths on Vala, and that starts to have a lot less value, but at right now, 25% bonus attack speed. It does look like Vala and Oriel get sent secretly bottom on a secret mission to take this camp, and it doesn't appear like it's been noticed yet by Witch Rhythm. They are going to try and punish this rotate. IT Cowboy gets down about half of his health now with that hammerang from Map 407. This is captured. Real Rad Dad sees him, but now needs to be careful. I don't think he realized there were so many here. He does get locked down. He's in a lot of trouble here. Is it going to be the first kill? Yes! Real Rad Dad goes down on Zool, and he's first blood for Ghost. Actually, Line Bus gets that kill. Nettins does come down to help soak this. Oh, a good chastise, but Nettins is in a bad position. He goes down too. It's now a 2-for-0. And he took a really tricky line against some hard CC from the Jet Propulsion on the whip. He had a good chastise to stop Line Bus, but he couldn't stop the Judgment Whip from, I think it's called Detainment Strike. Couldn't stop the Detainment Strike. So they're losing some experience in the top at the moment. There is about a half-level lead already. Early in a good flip there, being in there, and Blitz gets caught out by PJ Red trying to see what's going on here. Another kill, and they're staggering deaths early on, which Rhythm is going to have to start paying more attention. This Diablo is so dangerous on the map. They do leap onto Zool, and one of the weaknesses of this offlaner is he has no escapes. He's dancing around trying to dodge the crowd control. Vala has already stacked up. A great pull by Nettins is going to keep Zool alive as he tries to be a distraction, but this isn't good. He's not a good enough distraction because he gave his life for Zool's sins. And that is 4 kills to nothing. This Diablo has been such a problem, along with the Junkrat crowd control and the Vala sustained damage. The early game has gotten out of control for Witch Rhythm so far. And then Searing Light is our last level 1 talent. We're done with those now. So, with all of those kills, with all that map pressure in the earlier level 7, we are going to see a When We Return in for the members of Cats on my keyboard. And these cats really know how to play a Diablo, I'll tell you that. There is the stun onto Blitz. Another stun onto Blitz. He and that wall have gotten intimately familiar. He gets knocked in, but he manages to burrow charge out and keep himself safe. Seven's now coming in for our blue team. And we see Falstad is clearing mid. Zool is attempting to clear bottom. Blaze will push up towards the mid. And we do have a 4v3 in the top. Junkrat bombs are coming out. King Dunce trying to put out what damage he can on heroes, trying to pressure them away from his towers, but they will go down, and that gate is gone in the mid. Good chunk of that gate is gone in the bottom. The gate will be gone as well. They're pushing in hard on this top ward, but the spider is about to go down. The Junkrat mine just misses bouncing King Dunce as the grenade comes out on Apple, but that is hardly worth a moment's notice. Blitz comes in, does hit an impale on Ghost, but that's more of a intimidation tactic than it is really dangerous. And I will say, we don't see a ton of Diablo at the moment in NGS. There's other tanks that sometimes can do things better. Diablo, I would say, is sometimes a riskier tank But PJ Red's Diablo has looked excellent, and his using the corners, using the Fog of War, has really been effective for Cats on my keyboard. And it's something where you don't dare face check a bush right now if you're Witch Rhythm, because there could be the Lord of Terror behind it, and he's earning that name right now. So again, they're still about a half level ahead. They've gotten most of the gates, and the top keep is down about 20% of its health. In the bottom, Ghost and Ariel will take this camp once again. In fact, Ariel just leaves knowing that Ghost's got this. There is a wave crashing bottom as Falstad takes this camp. And this camp will be cleared quickly by Witch Rhythm. And it looks like at the moment, Cats on my keyboard are just, well, it looks like they're going to push here with the bottom. They have hit 10. 10's coming in. We have the Rain of Vengeance for Vala, the Crystal Aegis for Ariel, Apocalypse for our Diablo, Bunker for our Blaze, and Junkrat has yet to choose. Now, Witch Rhythm has chosen safer rotations in the last little bit here, and that has stopped the bleeding. Their camp is still pushing. Cats on my keyboard looking to use this 10 advantage. They weren't able to get any kills, and now 10s will come out for Witch Rhythm as well. We see Cocoon for Anubarak, Light Bomb on Anduin. We have the Skeletal Mages for Azul. We have Commandeer Odin for Tychus, and Gust. Huge surprise. In fact, it is Mighty Gust. We see the Cocoon come out on Vala, but I'm not really sure what that was meant to facilitate, as Blitz gets instantly pushed away and his team wasn't really close for a follow-up. And now both teams seem to kind of be doing this dance of, we want to start a fight, but we're not sure how or when. Now it is Riptire for Junkrat, and it has been used. I'm not sure when or where, but it was used. And they're going to go for the turn in. Witch Rhythm does get their Web Weaver turn in, but they don't really have an opportunity to push very hard with it, at least at the moment. They do stun Blitz, but he's alright. Zool gets pushed in by the line bus on Blaze, but he will clear out this wave very swiftly. But this first Web Weaver, it's dropped all the way back here. Second Weaver will push on mid. IT Cowboy comes back up. Nox puts toward his team. Ghost gets a couple more auto attacks in. Is at 75 stacks on that Creed of the Hunter. Kills are still 4-0 in the favor of Cats on the keyboard. Blaze will get to clear bottom for free. It looks like all 5 have come top. They're going to hard push this top 4. Junkrat clearing mid. It's already down to about a third. And its bottom is down, but it is a 5v3 with half health Web Weaver in the top. They're looking to get the value here. Odin is mopped for the siege value, and they do Cocoon and Ghost. The Skeletal Mages come out as well. They will cause slow and some damage. Ghost will get out. An attempted dive there by Blitz, but out comes the Apocalypse. PJ Red is incredibly low. Out comes the Mighty Gust. Neddens gets knocked in. So does Matt. The barrel roll puts him a little bit closer to safety. The Jet Propulsion just misses from Line Bus. And now the abilities are being used for disengage. King Dunce is all by himself down here. Needs to be careful. No, he gets knocked behind the gate, and King Dunce will die after a well-placed mine by IT Cowboy. King Dunce found himself very isolated over here, and IT Cowboy drops a clever mine in that choke point, knocks him right into an area where he would be killed by the fort. Line Bus is turning in, and this will be enough for Red Web Weavers to follow. 13s are coming in. Again, about a half-level lead still for the members of Cats on my keyboard. And again, we're going to see the 3-1-1 defense, as we've seen pretty much this whole game from both teams. Grenade comes to clear the wave. And that's one of the weaknesses that we seem to be seeing right now, is that without Falstad, the 4-man of Witch Rhythm doesn't really have a safe way to clear wave. They have to rely on Tychus Grenade, and that has a decent cooldown, so they will lose top 4 here. Blaze is pushing Matt in the mid, but this Web Weaver is down to about a third of its life, and Zool will clear this one in the bottom, but the bottom fort is also at half health. Top 1 still has a fair amount of its health, as Cats on my keyboard crash hard into the mid, looking to take 2 forts. with this Web Weaver phase. And it can't be contested. It's taken down. Now, the Web Weavers are down besides this one with a little bit of health. Which of them needs to decide what they'd like to do. They're going to dive on Zool in the bottom lane. He tries to sidestep, but he gets caught by the random engines. The gust comes out from Matt, and Blaze is cocooned. They're trying to turn this, and it looks so far like they're doing a job. Red is solo, 30 health, he's dead to the auto attacks from Falstad. They're jumping on the line pass in the back. He drops Bunker. Now, Diablo did have 100 souls, so he's back now, but he's much squishier. He goes down. They look to take the fort, and they do. All 3 forts belong to them. But now IT Cowboy finds himself in a rough position. He's just going to let himself die. A 2 for 0, and a great turn from the members of Witch Rhythm. Their offlaner was getting dove very hard. And they just came in, got the cocoon out there, and, yeah, they punished. Even with the Crystal Aegis coming out, not enough. 2 dead. And these are the first 3 kills for the side of Witch Rhythm. They are still about a quarter of a level behind. That has helped them catch up a little bit. They're not quite yet ready for the turn-in, and now all their opponents are back up. There is the finished turn-in from Falstad's Spider Butts. Zool is pushing on the top. So it's very likely they get this top fort. Still got a tower here, and the full gate is in the bottom. And this is going to be more of a just get the wave prio back wave. They are unlikely to get a lot, so they probably actually won't get this because of how far back the wave is. I'm just not picking up attention. They are looking for a 5v5 in the mid lane. Blaze rotates up. The bomb does catch Blitz, but he uses the burrow charge. The skeletal mages come out, as does the cocoon. The Riptire comes out also. The Odin is popped. Real Rad Dad gets knocked in. The light bomb comes out and stuns a few. A good pull there by Nettins keeps his Tychus alive. And Zool, for that matter. Matt is incredibly low in the back. The spider will go down, and it's only done about 10% damage to this mid fort. Zool and Blaze head bottom as the 4-mans rotate top. This is only about a 40% life on this Web Weaver right now. And it will go down. 16s have been reached for Cats My Keyboard, so Witch Rhythm does need to be careful not to let their opponents engage. Manticore coming out for Volley, that's huge. The spread volley coming out for Junkrat, also a ton more damage. Now, 16s will come out for Witch Rhythm at this moment as Zool attempts to push out this top lane. I think what they desperately want right now is a building, any building. They want a structure. And so they've got a full wave currently pushing top. Cats on My Keyboard will rotate to catch that. Neither team has enough for a full turn-in at the moment, although Cats on My Keyboard is closer with 50 gems at the moment. Blitz keeping an eye on the mid lane. Both teams seemingly stopping to take a quick breath, see if they can find a larger advantage for the end game. We are at level 17 and 16, respectively. And the turn-ins are coming in. They still don't have quite enough for a full turn-in. Line bus with the majority of their gems at the moment. Top is got priority for the members of Cats on My Keyboard. Blaze pushing out bottom at the moment. Cocoon will come out in Diablo and looking to jump in. Ghost, the good vault man's the Riptire coming in from behind. And that just manages to step far enough out that he doesn't get knocked. But a great charge there by PJ Red. Out comes a light bomb, but it's too late. Nettins is dead. The Odin will get popped. Matt, super low, gets killed by Ghost there. Line bus coming in. Ghost has to vault away from the damage from the Odin, and they will kill Zool as well. And it's only Tychus and Anubarak left as the Red Weavers come down, and there's no one to defend the wave of Web Weavers, as even a huge wave is pushing top, and this gate is going down. And the blue team actually started that fight. They wanted that fight. They threw the cocoon. They threw their Billy King Dunce, gets caught by PJ Red and killed. Blitz had to use his crowd control to escape, which meant he could not use it to heal for the StarCraft Convict. Top fort is going down. Now, death timers are not that long. Anduin back right away, and in 5 more seconds, Falstad as well. Gust will be up in 9. So, not looking to end. Instead, Cats on My Keyboard goes to take this middle fort, as the members of Witch Rhythm are just looking to clear the top Web Weaver. There goes their middle fort as well, and bottom fort is besieged. 20's very close for the members of Cats on My Keyboard. If they can get all these forts, get their 20 advantage, out comes the Cocoon onto the Junkrat, but it will be cleared fairly quickly. They are trying to follow up on him right now, but they still aren't a full team for 5 more seconds. The Riptire does come out. The Light Bomb, oh, it's on Falstad. He can't get in. He takes a good chunk of damage from the light. Oh, but he's killed by minions or the tower, it seems like. PJ Red is getting crowd control by the Zool Prison. He's taking so much damage. Oh my goodness. That Tychus is burning down the Diablo. They're looking to chase in now. It is a 5v4. Diablo goes down as well. We did have 100 souls. He will be back right away. Apple gets locked down by the Zool here. They are 20s now. They have to be careful. Zool is killed by Ghost. Out comes Matt. He's going to throw the Mighty Gust. It hits Ariel, but the double stun there by Linebus is so good. They get the return kill on Falstad. It's a 2 for 2 at the moment. Diablo rotating back to this fight. Neddens trying not to get chased down by Ghost. He's rotating around King Dunce, who can do a lot of damage. There goes Vala. The Linebus and PJ Red are the ones left. Here comes the Apocalypse. It goes on to Neddens. He gets low, charged into the fort. He's killed by the Lord of Terror. And the bunker is dropped for Blaze. Linebus is so low, they decide instead to give up on the Blaze and go for the Diablo. He no longer has any souls. The Feast on Fear keeps him alive momentarily, but he is blown away. Now, there are catapults on this core, but it does still have its shielding. And after an absolutely wild battle, that's a 5 on this team because Diablo died twice. That's a 5 for 3. A really good fight considering they were fighting into 20s. King Dunce did work on that Tychus. And some really great bone prisons from the Zool as well. So if we look at our 20s here, we have the Fortified Bunker for Blaze, Extra Oomph for Junkrat, Hellgate for Diablo, Farflight Quiver for Vala, and the Shield of Hope from our Ariel. Blue team looking to rotate quickly. They know their enemy team doesn't have Diablo for 20 more seconds. They're going for the boss. We've got Rewind on a Nubarak, Inner Fire, the Light Bomb upgrade. Red team knows this is happening. They're coming. Mortal Wound for the Q build, the Scythe build. We have Big Red Button for Odin and Wind Tunnel. This should help them secure the boss. Falstad does fly and the Cocoon does come out. Riptire will come out now. Linebus looking to tank here. They can't contest the boss. It is captured immediately. They jump onto Linebus. Big Red Button is popped with the Odin. They're going to siege up here. Blitz with the Light Bomb, but he gets so low. He's taking Tower Shot after Tower Shot. He's dead. Oh, the Gust saves IT Cowboy. The Gust saves IT Cowboy. He does finally go down. That's a 1 for 1 so far. The boss still at full health. King Dunce still pushing. Real rad dat taking a lot of the Farflight Quiver on this Vala is doing work, especially on the squishy members. That is 148 stacks, and I believe no deaths for the 1 death for this Vala. But there's a camp and 5, and this is gonna break this core quickly. 5 catapults on your core is gonna blow it up faster than you can say biggity bangity boom. They're losing core points so fast. Thankfully, Zool does have crazy clear, but their core is already down to 8% after those waves came crashing. And they're now going to have to be extremely careful for the back door. Vala can finish off 8% on a core at this stage of the game very, very quickly. Now, because they did all die on Cats on My Keyboard, they don't have gems left for a tournament. So they're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way by winning a team fight or by controlling the macro and the wave prio. Now, that's the one thing that, now, kudos, all sorts of kudos to Witch Rhythm. They were well behind. They took some good fights. The kills are now 13-9, so they're nowhere near as unbalanced as they were. But they are still under a ton of pressure. There are catapults coming in every lane all the time. Where's all their gems? They're kind of spread between Real Rad Dat and Guns. But even if they lose one character, it's game over. They cannot defend even a 5v4, I would say, with only 8%. Now, the shields will help. They are building up to full. But basically in a fight, they need to kill the entire enemy team and not lose more than, I would say, 2. And that's a tall order, considering someone always needs to be paying attention to what's going on with these waves. Cocoon comes out on Diablo. I'm not sure what Blitz was hoping for there. An interesting choice of timing. There is the charge onto King Dunce. He pops the Odin to go unstoppable, but it's too much too fast. He's down. The Riptire comes out as well. The Shield of Hope comes out to save Diablo, as does the Bunker. They're defending desperately now. Once again, full shields. Oh, but the bomb onto Nedens. He's in a terrible spot. He is going to be finished off by the Ariel. Ghost putting tons of damage onto Matt. Real Rat Dad is low. Blitz is now caught out. He's killed as well. It's a 3-0. And, I mean, unless I'm crazy, this game is over. A great fight. And starting again with a confusing use of that Cocoon by Blitz. And once it was down, Cats on My Keyboard came crashing in. And they win game number 1. GG. So a game that Cats on My Keyboard had to be careful of, in that they were ahead all game, and then a really great fight in the end there. Just, they turned it in really well after that big spider push, which rhythm turned the game to fairly even. The only reason that they didn't have more of a chance is because they lost all their keeps already, and so the pressure was really forcing them to stay in their base. So good, patient play from the members of Cats on My Keyboard, not to start staggering deaths, not to start trying to panic, trying to get the game back in their favor, just patiently play until a mistake came out. And again, if we had Blitz with us, maybe he could tell us why he was looking at that Cocoon right then. But it feels like maybe that's the sort of play you make when you're under pressure and you're looking for something, and the columns maybe aren't as clean as you'd hope. That's my assumption. And again, I could be totally wrong. But great work there. As soon as that crowd control was gone, Cats on My Keyboard blitzed in, killed member after member after member, just bang, bang, bang. They got on the Tychus. He got APOC flipped. He pops the Odin to get unstoppable, but the wind-up, or the animation to get into Odin is so long that he had no opportunity to escape. It didn't seem like Nedens was able to pull him out, and that was game. So great work, and GG to Cats on My Keyboard as they take game number 1. So let's have a quick look at where we'll be going for game number 2 after a fantastic game 1. And it looks like game number 2 is going to be on Infernal Shrines. And we don't know who picked what or who got first pick, but Infernal Shrines being a map that is a ton of fun, both to play and to cast. Lots of different ways to win, lots of different compositions that you can play to be successful on this map. You want to secure the Punisher, but you can do that with poke, with team fight, with macro pressure, letting you rotate when the enemy team is trying to face that pressure. You can take scaling heroes and try to just defend the first Punisher or two, and then try to scale up and take later game Punishers with characters that are now much stronger. But generally, there are some staples of this. You generally want heroes that can clear an area fairly quickly. The minions on the shrines go down fairly fast to AoE abilities. So things like Hogger is liked on this map. Leo can do well clearing. Kerrigan is sometimes a niche pick, often seen only on this map. And then your AoE mages, so your Li Mings, your Kael'thas, your Tassadar, just things that can do damage in an area. So that is Infernal Shrines, and let's get into the game and look at what our teams have drafted for us. So we see, once again, the blue team is Witch Rhythm. They've taken Johanna, Leoric, Greymane, Karazim, and Sylvanas. Very, very much a burst team. And I say that because of Karazim and Greymane. Karazim does not have the mana or the heals to have an extra long team fight. So what they're looking for here is kind of an isolation. Lock them down with the Blessed Shield or lock them in with the Entomb. And then you've got 7-sided strike and the Cursed Bullet to blow up one tanky member. And so that does give you an answer into this Diablo on the other side. With all that percent health damage, if you can lock him into place, you can blow him away. So it seems like that's kind of the answer that they went for. They didn't like how much, or what they saw from the Diablo, and now they have the ability to take him out with percent health damage. And Sylvanas can trait into that as well if she wants to. Other than that, a generally good composition all around. Again, low heals from the Karazim. And Greymane doesn't have a lot of sustain on his own, so this team wants fights to be over quickly. They cannot win a sustain fight with Karazim healer and Greymane damage. Because Greymane has no way of healing himself, he dies really quickly to CC, and without a sustain healer, he just goes down. But Leoric is a great pick here, can double soak easily. Johanna, a great pick all the time, and we'll have the opportunity to see if King Dunce's Sylvanas can do as much damage as his Tychus, which I believe did top the damage last game. On the far side, we have Blaze, Lunara, Diablo, Alexstrasza, and Mephisto. So Diablo gets chosen again by PJ Red. It looked very, very good last game, and the line bus's Blaze was also very solid. So we have 2 carryovers from game number 1. Our damage is Lunara, Mephisto, which I'd say both of these are scaling heroes. So that might... their damage comes out a little slow to start with, but they do have some protection from Blaze. Diablo does have the ability to peel. Alexstrasza Dragon can peel a bit as well. Outside of Diablo, not a lot of hard CC on this team. Alexstrasza brings none. Lunara brings a slow. Mephisto has no CC, so you're basically expecting Diablo and Blaze to do all the peel here. But this is a team that can have a more sustained fight. Alex can heal over a longer period of time. Mephisto and Lunara's damage works best over a little bit of time. So you've got the team that wants to blow people up and the team that wants the fight to take a little bit. Considering that Shrine fights can go for a little while, I think I would say Cats on my keyboard. I favor their draft a little bit in this one. But again, all matchups are a skill matchup. We'll see where these teams take us. Let's get going. Game number 2 between Witch Rhythm and Cats on my keyboard. So, representing Witch Rhythm, we've got Blitz on Johanna, Real Rad Dad on Leoric, Matt407 plays Greymane, Neddens is on the Karazim, and King Dunce brings the Queen of the Horde, Sylvanas.
10 seconds.
And in the red, we have Cats on my keyboard. How dare they? We've got the line bus on Blaze. IT Cowboy plays Lunara. PJ Red on this Diablo that was so threatening in game 1. Apple playing Alexstrasza, and Mephisto is played by Ghost. And how fitting that Diablo is defending the Burning Hells. Oh, the train. It's the train! Gotta work on my title. I thought the title to the stream was Witch Rhythm versus, I'll have to double check that after, Mario. When I looked in Stream Manager, it said I had this one. Oh, OBS might have changed it. Ah, OBS, you asshole. Thank you for noting that. I set it up on Twitch, and then OBS auto changed it. Son of a pickle. Actually, we can pause because this is a replay. Quick second, we can change that right now so that it doesn't get messed up in the exports. So, one moment, please. Yeah, it changed it. Alright. Title's changed. Sincerest apologies. Let's get going. So they're jumping on the IT Cowboy in the bottom, but the hippity hop speed of Lunara lets her get away safely here. So looking at level 1s, we do see Laws of Hope from Johanna, which has been buffed fairly recently. So it does get chosen, I would say, about equally with the Zealous Glare Flashlight build these days, as Cats on the Keyboard does go for their camp, and I think we can say the same will be happening. They're kind of dancing around deciding what they want to do, but they do choose not to invade here. Take their camp as well. Johanna and Karazim just kind of being annoying, but there's not much they can do here besides take damage for free. Austin Renewal is out for Leoric. Camp is taken. PJ Red is going to jump onto Matt there, but not much that can be done. And the team really winning that. Honestly, that was kind of an abortive attempt for both teams. That went nowhere fast. Austin Renewal for Leoric. The Wolfheart. So we see the Worgen form, and I've heard that extra 5% armor has been very strong for Great Names and Worgen form. So we're seeing the Transcendence from Karazim, so not the Iron Fist. I don't know how often we see Transcendence from Karazim, especially as the solo healing. So that's a little surprising, especially into Diablo. But I guess with a lack of other CC on this team, it could potentially find value, as well as the Spirit Ally. We do see the Might of the Banshee, so not the percent health damage build for the Sylvanas. Adrenaline's impact for Blaze, he's dual soaking at the moment while being answered by Nat here. But because they did go 1-1-3, Cats on my Keyboard does take the opportunity to look at the bottom. Oh, but Johanna goes in. Blitz takes a fair amount of damage. It's dove on by the Diablo. But they do so much damage to Lunara here on IT Cowboy. Matt is doing damage as that Greymane, but they managed to keep Lunara alive, and we're still 0-0 in kills so far this game. We've got the Nature's Perspective, so Nature's Toxin revealing enemies while they are caught out in it. We have Devil's Due for Diablo, Circle of Life, so the Globe build with even more sustain for the Straza, and we have Furious Spark, a Lightning build from our Mephisto. Matt takes a lot of damage here, and again, not a lot of healing from this Karazim. Matt gets low, but they kill Sylvanas first. King Dunce goes down. The Iron Skin is popped for Johanna, and Matt is forced to back because, again, Karazim healing is not very high. The first shrine is active. It will be an Arcane Punisher in the mid lane. Real Rad Dad playing it safe, doesn't want to get caught while Lunara clears in the bot lane. The members of Cats on my Keyboard should hit 7 slightly earlier. Well, the Leoric is looking to grab this for their team. Lunara stayed bottom until they did get that 7. She's now rotating safe up. PJ Red will jump onto Matt, but a good condemn there by Blitz pulls them all in. Matt jumps onto IT Cowboy, goes doing all sorts of damage with that Lightning Spark. PJ Red dives onto the Greymane, who's stunned again, has to jump out with the Dark Flight. PJ Red is taking damage here from the percent of Leoric, but the Dragon Queen comes out to help secure this. And now they're getting all sorts of damage onto Blitz's Johanna here. He has to pop the Iron Skin and walk away. As Dragon Queen, I never really thought of it, but Dragon Queen does give you a lot of point control over the shrine. And so the first Punisher of the Arcane flavor will go over to Cats on my Keyboard. Interesting build for Karazim. I don't think I've ever seen a Karazim build like this outside of QM, so really curious to see how it plays out. And Nedden's wasn't focused by the Diablo. That was pretty much Greymane the entire time. Gate does go down and about 20% health, or 15% health on the fort, and the first Arcane Punisher is down. And about a quarter level lead to a half level lead for the members of Cats on the Keyboard as they go for their Causer camp. But again, they're managing to make these fights drag out long enough. No one gets bursted out. The speed of Lunara and the ability to jump in and out of the Mephisto means that Matt isn't able to blow them up pre-10. So they are... Oh, they're looking for the invadement again. I think it's just going to be a moment too late. Yes, Blitz is able to stop them from coming in. And so, once again, they prevent their camp from being engaged on their camp. And honestly, this is not a fun place to get engaged on. I can't tell you the number of times... you know, you're with a team or you're with your solo league group of randoms, and someone engages you here, there's just not really anywhere to go. Hard to turn that fight if you're not ready for it. It forces you into chokes from almost every direction. It's not fun. Cats on your keyboard will take this bottom Kaiser camp and get it pushing. It looks like they're rotating toward top. Going to look to get some value here. Now, the team on the side of Witch Rhythm do want 10. They desperately want 10 to pull off their percent health damage combo. So they are playing this a bit slow, and that's okay. Bunker will come out for Blaze. We do see Leaping Strike from Lunara. We've got the APOC from Diablo, Lifebinder for Alexstrasza, and Durance of Hate from Mephisto. The APOC will come out. Bunker's already dropped. The Durance of Hate does come out. It roots Diablo, and that's Greymane down already. They have focused on the most dangerous part of this team. They stun Neddens on Cartizan. He will go for the 7-sided strike, but Real Rad Dad is down on Leoric. Neddens does get out here. Takes a lot of damage from the Skull Missile, but he is still alive. But that is a 2-for-0 for the members of Witch Rhythm. And in the bottom, their Khazra Siege Camp is taking down this gate. King Duns will rotate on the Sylvanas. Blitz trying to stop this hard push with the help of Real Rad Dad, who has just come back up on the Orc. But it is a 4v2. Real Rad Dad has to use the Wraith Walk to get out, as the Leaping Strike from Lunara puts a little more damage on him. We do have the Blessed Shield for Johanna, but here comes the Entomb. They're looking for another fight. The Lifebinder comes out on Ghost, which again is going to prevent this burst, but Apple takes a lot of damage on this Red Dragon Queen. Blitz comes back in, but he's completely out of mana. The Durance of Hate comes out onto Leoric again. Blitz having to walk out, pops the Iron Skin. It's a 4v4. Real Rad Dad getting low from the sustained damage. And there's the Leaping Strike. IT Cowboy gets pulled in. Leoric does go down. The 7-sided strike comes out, but they're all together, which means that it's not able to blow anybody up. They share the damage on the strike. Matt taking even more damage from Ghost. He gets low, but he does have, looks like tap healing coming through here. Maybe it's just orb after orb after orb from the Regeneration Globe build. That's kind of clever, considering all the orbs that Apple is going to give them. And they're just going to siege this. Diablo can tank this for a long time. They're going to siege and take this top fort, while in the bottom lane, a Mortar Punisher Shrine is activating. So we see Blessed Shield for the Johanna, and Tomb for the Leoric. They do catch the line bus here. Condemn comes out, but it misses. They're going to jump onto Matt again. They know who they want to kill. Blessed Shield comes out. Matt is incredibly low. He doesn't have a way to sustain through this fight. He has to back away, but he's going to die just from the poison, and down he goes. In the back, Real Rad Dad trying to do a line bus, and he's winning, but it doesn't matter. They've lost their main damage here. They have Cursed Bullet, 7-sided strike, and Wailing Arrow. They will jump on IT Cowboy here for a bit of damage, but again, Alexstrasza, pretty good healing sustain. They've done about 2/3 of the damage on this middle fort. They're going to put a bit more damage on IT Cowboy, but this unorthodox composition from Cats on my keyboard is finding success. PJ Red and Ghost looking to steal the Khazra Siege Camp. And Witch Rhythm are just trying to find other places on the map they can find some value and catch up in levels. So they are looking at this top fort. But Ghost puts some more damage. It's just down to about a quarter, and the Khazra camp is going to attack it. Leo is rotating mid to try and deal with it. But with the Dark Arrows, Witch Rhythm can get their first building of this game.
Blue team has destroyed a fort.
Yes, they have. But this mid fort will go down as well. And in the bottom, they do have a Mortar Punisher sieging their bottom fort. They're going to have to deal with this pressure. They have hit their team. We're on even talent tiers, although there is a 4% level difference in statistics going in favor of Cats on my keyboard. As they blow through the health on this fort, it will go down. That is undeniable. The camp is coming along for the ride. So, Witch Rhythm, they're defending about a 3/4 health Punisher on their keep gate right now. The Orc isn't with them. This is a 5v4. The jump comes over onto the Johanna. That does leave Cats on my keyboard free to blow up this gate, and blow it up they do, and quickly. The Punisher is about a third of its health. Out comes the stun onto Alexstrasza. The 7-sided strike comes out, doing a lot of damage and goes. King Dunce is caught in the APOC, and so is Matt. He's blown away. King Dunce killed by 2 leaping strikes from IT Cowboy, and that's a 2 for 0. Both damage dealers on the side of Witch Rhythm are murderized. Punisher almost dead, but now it is a 5v3 on the key, or on the core. The siege camp just chucking spears away. Karazim goes down to the Lunara. The Blaze Bunker comes out. Real Rad Dad and Blitz have backed into their Hall of Storms. They're looking to come out now. They want to try and defend this. Out comes the Drain Hope. It's on to Blaze. Matt is back, looking to pop all the damage. The death timers are still so short, but these Khazar will not stop chucking spears. There's nothing they can do. They're defending their hearts out, but it's too late. And game number 2 will go to Cats on my keyboard. What a strong macro game. And again, what an interesting composition. The Devils do, giving increased health from regen globes. Where can you get them? Alexstrasza. The Spite. So, activating every tick of regen globes, giving him his abilities up all the time. Where does he get regen globes? Alexstrasza. I don't know if anyone else has regen globe abilities right off the hop. But again, 2 clever uses of this particular build, and the Dragon Queen being so strong on the point meant that they had so much power in the early game. And as much as I love the Monk, and let me tell you, I do love the Monk. I think Karazim's one of the coolest characters in the game. Hot dang does he need some buffs, because Greymane had 0 chance to fight this game. Even without hard crowd control, the damage they could put on him as he was coming in to do the damage, and the fact that Alexstrasza could prevent the instant burst, he would go in, get a couple autos off, and have to run away, but then he would still die. There was just no hope for the Greymane to get damage this game. We see this 9-0 in kills and the very early win. So that is a domination from Caps on my keyboard. They win this series 2-0 with some extremely strong play. So GG's to them. Yeah, the Diablo level 1 as well. Yeah, 2.25%. So very, very, I love this kind of unusual draft. Very smartly, very intelligently played by the members of Cats on my keyboard as they win this series between Witch Rhythm and Cats on my keyboard. So that's our first replay cast. We have another coming up in about an hour. That will be, let me double check because I have 2 I'm doing tomorrow as well. So the one tomorrow will be, or sorry, the other one today is going to be, please stop going cattywampus on me here. CM Daybreak versus Protectors of Ire in Division B. So, see you guys in about an hour. Until then, enjoy your Tuesday and try and enjoy yourself some Heroes of the Storm. Bye.